Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the New York Mets. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to the final game of the four-game series with New York. The Mets have won 4 of 6, but what makes this one rather interesting, the Dodgers have won 2 of the previous 3. If the Dodgers win today, it will mark the first time they have won a series from an Eastern Division team, whether in the National League or in the American League. Going to the mound for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw in quest of his 10th, trying to keep the Dodgers on the heels of San Diego as of the moment they trail by 6. On the mound for the Mets, it will be the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. We'll get to the ball game and a whole lot more coming up right after this.
Another gorgeous day here in Southern California. Welcome, getting you set for Dodgers and the Mets here at Dodger Stadium. Let's get to our Lexus pursuing perfection in the 13th inning yesterday after leaving the bases loaded in the 12th. Loney coming through with his first career walk-off home run.
Hit that thing halfway out of the stadium to a high fastball. Tough for lefties to get up there and do that. Both Loney and Ethier had been scuffling. Maybe this pushes those guys over the top. I've heard you say that all week, that the Dodgers need something to sort of get them over that hump. You think that was it yesterday? Certainly is a step in the right direction. You see the guys coming out there doing the bounce. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen them do that kind of thing. With Manny out of the lineup, you're not going to see much of that out of him on the DL. If they win today, they have a chance to have won 3 out of their last 4. You know they're starting to go back into the West with San Diego and San Francisco. You have to beat those 2 teams that are in front of you.
And you have to think the Dodgers have the advantage today, because if you're the Mets, you lose in the 13th, you're kind of despondent. If you're the Dodgers, got to carry that over.
Yeah, the fans in the 13th inning just want to see somebody win the game, but you have to be on the winning side of a 13-inning game like that, because people talk about momentum in baseball. Maybe it's only as good as your next starting pitcher. Well, guess what? The Dodgers have their ace on the mound, and they won, so they have to take advantage.
All right, we are taking a break. Coming back with first pitch. Vince Scully has the call. Remember, Viva Los Dodgers today, every Sunday here at Dodger Stadium. Enjoy the game. We'll see you afterwards.
All new 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealers today. By Shakey's. Watch the distance from home plate to the pitcher's mound. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. By AT&T. TV, high-speed internet, home phone, and wireless. Visit att.com or call 1-800-PIC-ATT for details. And by 76 Gasoline. We're on the driver's side. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday afternoon to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, the final game of a brief homestand, and Game 4, the final game of the series with the New York Mets. For the Dodgers spinning their wheels, at least for the moment, as they continue to remain 6 back of San Diego, but they certainly have a chance to do something about that starting Tuesday when Chad Billingsley goes up against John Garland and the San Diego Padres. Talking about the Padres, they are leading the Pirates 6-3 in the 9th inning. Wade LeBlanc started, turned it over to Luke Gregerson in the bullpen. There was a home run by Adrian Gonzalez in that game. So for the Dodgers, the pressure is on as well as the heat. They have to win to stay back by 6. Here is the visiting Mets lineup. Jose Reyes at short and Luis Castillo at second. David Wright having a bad series, striking out a lot at third base. Carlos Beltran in center. Jason Bay in left. Ike Davis at first base. Jeff Francoeur in right field. Josh Coley will be behind the plate. R.A. Dickey, a knuckleballer, will be on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, the 22-year-old left-hander Clayton Kershaw. Last time out, a no decision, allowing 2 earned runs over 6 innings. Against the Mets, 1-0, but he picked up that victory last year. He's done very well over his last 14 starts, going 8-3, holding the opposition to a .210 batting average. And one other thing, in daylight, he's been dynamite. He is 3-0. The opposition is hitting 189 against him in 5 daytime starts, and his ERA in the daylight 8th in the National League. So the Dodgers and the Mets, we mentioned it in our opening remarks on television. We can repeat it now. The Dodgers have won 2 of the 3, and today's game will either wind up as a split or a Dodgers series victory. And the Dodgers, with Joe Torre, have not won a series against the East this year. That counts not only the National League, but the American League as well. So here we go with Jose Reyes hitting .278, 6 home runs, 35 runs batted in, has been very hot. Since the end of May, he's hit .333, so his average has come up from .210, and he takes a strike, 0-1. So Reyes, switch hitter, batting right-handed, and from this side of the plate, he's hitting .304. Swings, hits a ground ball to short. Carroll is up with it, has to get rid of it in a hurry, and does. So Reyes ground ball, 1 away. We'll take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. Paul, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. Blake, Carroll, DeWitt, and Loney on the infield, with Russell Martin behind the plate handling Clayton Kershaw. Jamie Carroll playing shortstop. So Rafael Furcal gets a well-deserved day off. 1 away, and the switch-hitting second baseman, Luis Castillo, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. The weather has been magnificent. Visiting teams commenting on it. Right now, today, it's 78 degrees. The strike one pitch is off the plate. Castillo hitting .236, 14 runs batted in. A fellow who prides himself in making contact. Not that it's paid off that much for him this year. He has a look at his strike, and the count 1-2. From this side of the plate, hitting .235. From the other side, .236. So there's not much to change, except most of his RBIs, because most of his at-bats have been right-handed. He takes low, and a 2-2 count. Castillo has only played 50 games, and in that time has struck out only 11. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kershaw ready, Clayton delivers, and the breaking ball stayed up, ball 3. By the way, the Mets have to be very hungry. When they were in Arizona, they played a 14-inning game. They did not get a hit for the last 8 innings. Well, they played a 13-inning game yesterday, went hitless after the 6th inning. So a hungry offensive club, and they have stopped hitting completely on the road trip. They've lost 8 of 10. This is their final game on the trip. Yesterday they were burned on the walk-off home run by James Loney, the 12th time this year they've been burned. The 3-2 pitch on the way, a broken back ground ball to third. Casey Blake is up with it to get him, and we have 2 down. So ground balls to short and third, yet another broken bat, and David Wright coming up. David Wright, a multi-talented third baseman, an all-star, but he has really fallen upon lean times, not only not hitting, but striking out a lot. And so for David, as he checks in, he is 2 for 12 with 11 strikeouts. And for the last 2 weeks, one of the premier hitters, one of the fine players in the game, is hitting 189. And he takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. For the Mets, among other things, they lost their talented catcher Rod Barajas yesterday. The 1-0 pitch on the way is a strike, 1-1. Barajas swung at a pitch and suffered a strain, the right oblique, right around the rib cage. So Rod is going to have to sit and wait and hopefully heal and get back soon, but that can be a very tricky injury. The next one to right is a strike, and the count 1-2. Right-hander John Maine, who was a mainstay of the Mets pitching staff. He had shoulder surgery, so he's lost for the rest of the year. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way, high, ball 2. So the Mets spinning their wheels. They are 7.5 behind Atlanta, and let's face it, the Dodgers are doing the same thing, 6 behind San Diego. 2-2 the count. Kershaw ready, and the left-hander deals. Fastball swung on and fouled. We're watching the umpire, and he's pointing at the ground. So David Wright is still alive. Got a little bit of it, fouling it into the dirt. Everybody was leaving, but you had to keep your eye on Dana DeMuth, who is the crew chief, the senior umpire, and he indicated right away that the pitch was fouled. So Wright is still there. Clayton Kershaw takes a little walk around the mound. Dana DeMuth has been umpiring in the big leagues for 27 years. He's from Ohio, lives in Arizona. He was a crew chief in the Cardinal Dodgers series last year. A shot in the gap in left center. So Wright is given an extra at bat and makes the most of it. And a line drive double into left center field. So a 2-out double will bring up Carlos Beltran. Beltran, the switch hitter, who was out with a bad knee for almost the entire year, trying to pick up David Wright, who has just doubled at the gap in left center. Beltran, a multi-talented player, but of course he has a brace on his right knee coming back from surgery. He's only been in 9 games, though he's hitting just 188. Beltran looks at a strike. 0-1. Kershaw throwing right around 90 at the start of the game. For Clayton again, it jumps up. He got the first 2, looked like he got the third, and then David Wright doubled, and the pitch check swing. So for whatever reason, Clayton Kershaw has not been able to have a 1-2-3 first inning this year. In fact, one inning he struck out the side, but there was a pass ball on strike 3, and he had to face 4 batters. So it looked like here he had struck out Wright to end the inning. Dana DeMuth said no, and Wright doubles. And so it goes for young Clayton. The left-hander with the high stretch drops it down to the collarbone. Back with a breaking ball swung on and missed. That will do it for Beltran. They leave Wright, and at the end of half an inning, Mets nothing, Dodgers coming up. Called a 2-2 count on David Wright, who then doubled. It meant about an additional 4 pitches for Kershaw, so he wound up making 18 pitches in the first inning. Here's the way the Dodgers stack up. Xavier Paul in left, Jamie Carroll at short, and then Loney, Kemp, Ethier, Blake, DeWitt, Martin, and Kershaw. There's a lot to know about the Mets pitcher. First of all, he's right-handed, but more than that, he goes by R.A. Dickey. His true legal name is Robert Allen. He went by Robert until he reached the 7th grade. Everyone in his family, all of his friends called him R.A. His father's initials were Robert G., and he was called R.G., so it runs in the family. What doesn't run in the family is a dazzling knuckleball that has gotten him to the big leagues as he works on Xavier Paul. And the strike one pitch on the way, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Xavier Paul, he's hitting .262, 11 RBIs in the leadoff role. Jamie Carroll hitting back of him. Knuckler swung on and missed, 1 and 2. There's a Dodger influence here because R.A. Dickey really trained under Charlie Huff. Of course, he's gotten tips from other people like Phil Necro and other knuckleballers. Charlie, however, had a lot to do with his development. 1-2 pitch is low, 2-2 the count. R.A. Dickey was an English major at the University of Tennessee. He still lives in Nashville, his birthplace. But what is more important is a story about him that's somewhat tragic. Knuckleball is swung on and missed, and down goes Xavier Paul, and we have 1 away. Here's the deal on R.A. Dickey. He had agreed to a bonus with the Texas Rangers for $810,000. And then during the physical exam, showed that he had no ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow, so the joint had no stability. They think that he was born without one, but immediately the Rangers withdrew the offer, and the offer dropped from $810,000 to just $75,000. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Jamie Carroll. That's in there for a strike, 1-1. They couldn't really figure it out as Carroll waits at the plate with a .285 batting average. Dr. James Andrews, Dr. Frank Jobe, they had never heard of a case of a fella born without the ulnar collateral ligament. Check swing foul. And boy, that's a lot of collateral to drop from $810,000 to $75,000. How did it start? Well, it's rather a bizarre story. It all started with the Rangers trainer holding a cover of Baseball America's 1996 issue. We'll tell you about that in a moment. The 1-2 pitch, little ground ball to the right side. Castilla picks it up, and that'll do it for Jamie. And we have 2 down in the first inning. And James Loney, yesterday's hero, coming up. Now, here's the story. The trainer is looking at the cover of Baseball America. It has the U.S. Olympic team starting rotation on the cover. And the Texas Rangers orthopedic consultant looked at the picture. And he said, you know, that bothers me. And the trainer said, what are you talking about? He said, I don't like the way that kid holding his right elbow, the way the arm is hanging. It's not hanging naturally like all of the others. Now the first pitch to James Loney in for a strike. So naturally, the Rangers did some more work, and without blinking an eye, he lost $735,000. The strike one pitch is in there, 0-2. Loney, who hit it out in the 13th inning, his first walk-off home run. He's matched his number now. He has 7 home runs, 65 runs batted in, hitting .301. The next one low and inside, 1-2. You know how bad it is not to have that ulnar collateral ligament in your right elbow? They said he shouldn't be able to do a lot of things. Shouldn't be able to throw a frisbee, play golf, even hold his baby. Not supposed to be able to turn a doorknob. The pitch to Loney is swung on and missed, but I'll tell you one thing, he can pitch in the big leagues, and he can strike out major league hitters. He just nailed 2 of them. At the end of an inning, no score. Already applied the sunblock and brought a lot of water. And in the second inning, it'll be Jason Bay, Ike Davis, and then Jeff Francoeur. Bay, right-hand inning outfielder, batting .262, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. The other night, Jason Bay made one of those 1 in a million plays, catching a fly ball while crashing into the bullpen gate, the Dodger bullpen, and he made the play. 1-1 the count. Bay arched his back. He hit the fence so hard and then went down, but eventually got up and stayed in. The 1-1 pitch on the way is taken inside under the hands. Ball 2, 2-1. It was Jamie Carroll, the shortstop for the Dodgers, who hit the ball to deep left field, and Bay made a rather incredible catch. 2-1 pitch to the boy from Canada. He fouls it off. 2-2. We often talk about Canadians and how they grow up playing hockey, like a Larry Walker. He played hockey till he was about 12, but the sport he really fell in love with, curling. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and down he goes. Kershaw picks up his second strikeout, curling one by Jason Bay. Big breaking ball that stayed up, and Bay went right under it. And the batter now is Ike Davis. Ike Davis with 14 home runs, 46 runs batted in, hitting .249. This is his rookie year, and of course the big question about Ike will be, can he continue to hit the ball so well as he fouls a pitch off? Because he drops his hand up at when you watch him. And of course, that's how he gets his power. He really loads up. But you just wonder if major league pitchers won't eventually take advantage of what they call a hitch. 0-1 the count. Bat held high in the air. The hands come down, and the curveball is in there for a strike. So Ike up there with a no ball, 2-strike count. Ike Davis, hitch or no hitch. 14 home runs, 46 runs batted in. He has struck out 86 times. Kershaw's fastball is foul back, though he caught up to that. 0-2 the count. As we've often mentioned, if you have some kind of pre-movement before the swing, if you hit, that's your sign, your signature. If you don't hit, it's a hitch. And the pitch to him very high. Russell Martin had to go up in the air to get it. Fastball that got away. 1-2 the count. The Kershaw overthrowing. Martin went up to get it. And a 1-2 count to Ike Davis, who's a chip off the old block. His dad, Ron, spent 11 years in the big leagues as a pitcher. 1-2 pitch is a breaking ball hit in the air to left center. Matt Kemp says he will take care of it, and does in almost a casual way, as big leaguers are wont to do. With 2 out in the second inning, the batter will be Jeff Francoeur.
Number 12, right fielder Jeff Francoeur.
Francoeur in right field is hitting about 168 for the last month. The Mets have really been struggling. The last 2 weeks, he's hitting 132. So Francoeur takes high, ball 1. Of course, if you talk to Jeff, he's saying, I want to play more. I'll hit better if I play more. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, foul back. And I'm sure the Mets are saying, well, if you would hit more, you'd play more. So it's the vicious circle. And eventually it'll be up to Francoeur to hit his way back out onto playing every day. He's had 300 at bats. The 1-1 pitch to the right hand batter. Kershaw delivers, and that's hit in the air to center. Kemp is there. Matt waits, one hands it, and that'll be that. A strikeout and a couple of fly balls, and at the end of an inning and a half, Mets nothing, Dodgers nothing. Inning, no score in the ball game. Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and Casey Blake against the right-hander R.A. Dickey. Final score in Pittsburgh: the Padres beat the Pirates 6-3. Heath Bell came up with his league-leading 29th save. LeBlanc picked up the victory. DeNorfia and Gonzalez homered. Padres win it 6-3. First pitch to Matt Kemp, low and inside, ball one. The Padres are playing sensational ball. You know, San Diego is 19 games above 500. The Dodgers, 6. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Kemp, and that's in there for a strike. Matt hitting .266, 17 home runs, 56 runs batted in. Kemp 2 for 5 yesterday. Swings at a knuckleball and grounds it up the middle. So the Dodgers get themselves their first base runner, a single by Matt Kemp. And now Ethier, Blake, and DeWitt trying to get him around. For Kemp, as he stands at first base, he has stolen 15, but he's also been caught 12 times. So here is Andre Ethier. Ethier went 0 for 2, striking out once yesterday, didn't start. He's right at 300. Remember, he was hitting about 390, hurt the finger, had to sit out for a while, and has had a lot of struggles ever since. So the left-hand hitter checks in, and the first pitch, ground ball to the right side. Castillo to Reyes. Reyes over to Ike Davis for the double play. So the struggle continues for Andre Ethier as he grounds into his 5th double play of the year. And just like that, 2 down in the second inning.
Third baseman, Casey Blake.
With 2 out, Casey Blake will be coming up. Casey from Ionola, or Indianola in Iowa. And that area has really had a lot of problems, a lot of rain. I think the dam burst, and I believe Indianola had a lot of homes underwater. The pitch to Casey in for a strike, and the count all 0-1. All Iowa. Song from the Music Man. The strike one pitch on the inside corner. 0-2 to Casey. Blake hitting .254 with 10 home runs. He has 40 runs batted in. Yesterday went 1 for 5, struck out twice. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Looked like a fastball, and he swung on and missed. Had a little late cut to it, so maybe a slider. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. And for R.A. Dickey, he has struck out 3, and the game is scoreless. followed by R.A. Dickey and then Jose Reyes. No runs and 1 hit for each side. A 2-out double by David Wright in the first inning and a leadoff single by Matt Kemp in the second. So Kershaw working on Tolley. Josh has not played a lot. Inflated batting average at .429. Left-hand hitter takes high, ball 1. Tolley in his 18th game, but only 20 some odd at bats, takes a strike, and the count 1-1. Spells that name T-H-O-L-E, and it comes out Tolley. Out of Breeze, Illinois, hits one foul down the left field line out of play. You can just picture it in your mind. Josh said he learned to hit swinging a bat in a barn as a youngster in Illinois. He's the boy who was born on a rather memorable day for the New York Mets. The 1-2 pitch on the way is poke foul. Josh Tolley was born October the 28th, 1986. That was the day of the Mets' last World Series parade, having conquered the Boston Red Sox. 1-2 the count. Next one to Josh, poked in the air to shallow left field. Going back to get it is Casey Blake and makes the catch for the out. So 1 away, and R.A. Dickey coming up. You know, Wednesday, August 4th, join the Dodgers and Padres. First 30,000 fans take home an L.A. beach towel, compliments of Jack in the Box, and Prime ticket. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. So here's Dickey, right-hand batter. Kershaw's fastball is low, ball 1. No score, top of the third, 1 away on a gorgeous afternoon. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Kershaw working quickly, comes back with a strike, and the count 1-1. Clayton with 2 strikeouts. He's retired the last 5 in a row. And the 1-1 pitch, throwing hard but low, and he's behind to Dickey. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dickey has to be a pretty good hitter. 5 hits and 19 at bats, 2 RBIs, and he makes a lot of contact. 2-1 pitch is poked on the ground to Loney, and James takes it to the bag. So 2 outs, 6 in a row retired by Clayton, and Jose Reyes coming up.
Jose Reyes.
Reyes grounded to short his first at bat. Reyes means so much to the Mets. Switch hitter out of the Dominican. 6'1", 195. He is a base stealing terror if he gets aboard. He has stolen as many as 78 one year in the big leagues, and he takes low. Reyes right now is second on the club. He has 20 stolen bases. Angel Pagan has 22. The 1-0 pitch, and Reyes takes the strike. He has a half a dozen home runs, 35 runs batted in. His first major league home run got your attention. It was a grand slam. Signed by the Mets in '99. And swings and drives it into left. Coming up for it is Xavier Paul, and that'll be the inning. So Kershaw throwing strikes has retired 7 in a row after Wright's double. And at the end of 2.5 innings, no score. Clayton Kershaw had himself a 12-pitch inning. He's made 43 pitches in the first 3 innings. And now we'll see about R.A. Dickey and his knuckleball and Blake DeWitt, who takes a high strike, 0-1. DeWitt batting .275. He has a home run and 30 runs batted in. Dickey ready and comes back 0-1 and misses high. Interesting thing about Dickey in looking at his work this year, his earned run average in the first 6 innings is 2.4. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, fouled off, 1-2. However, the last 3 innings of his games, his earned run average balloons to over 5. We'll see about it. So far so good. He's in the 3rd inning, no score. The boy from Nashville, Tennessee, R.A. Dickey. 1-2 the count. Right-handed turns, ready, here he comes, and it's fouled away. One of the things about Dickey, we told you, the fact that he has no ulnar collateral ligament, yet in college he pitched 200 innings a year. He was a quarterback on the high school football team throwing passes. He's been clocked at 93. The 1-2 pitch, little ground ball by Dickey, who dives after and misses just as well because Castillo makes the play easily. 1 away. And the batter will be Russell Martin.
Number 55, catcher Russell.
So the story about R.A. Dickey is a terrific one, and he understands it to the degree who says, if I can be an inspiration, I consider everything happens for a reason, and maybe my situation could be a way to tell young people not to give up. The pitch to Martin, top foul behind the plate, 0-1. Well, he has followed that because he and his best buddy, another pitcher named Jonathan Johnson, they started a nonprofit organization called Honoring the Father that's aimed at reaching out to today's youth, speaking at schools, athletic groups, church youth groups, etc., mostly during the off season. Strike 1 pitch, Martin takes a strike, and the count 0-2. There's one other amazing thing about R.A. Dickey. I mean, you want to talk about being pretty cool. Strike 2 pitch to Martin, line foul. In June, back in 2003, he pitched 5 innings, allowed 1 earned run for the Oklahoma Redhawks in Iowa after being on his cell phone and helping his wife deliver their daughter. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way high. Well, she had been scheduled to deliver 2 days later. She went into labor, so he got on the phone, patiently talked his wife through delivery. 1-2 the count. Martin fouls it away. A.J. Ellis, remember, his wife had the baby while he was watching the delivery on a webcam on his computer in the hotel room with the Dodgers. Modern design, a modern way for a miracle. 1-2. Dickey ready. Right-handed fastball is swung on and fouled at the plate. That took a little bit of a bite out of Josh Thole, and the count remains 1-2. Thole shaken up a wee bit, but immediately settles back into his crouch. Dickey throws pretty good fastball, a slider, and of course the dancer, as Jim Gilliam called it when he first saw Hoyt Wilhelm, what seemed like 100 years ago. 1-2 the count. Dickey ready, comes back, and a fastball is grounded wide of first. Up with it there as Davis takes it to the bag. And we have 2 down here in the 3rd inning. Say, a reminder, be sure to bring your kids to Dodger Stadium, and with a purchase of every adult ticket on the field or Lowe's level, kids 14 and under, I can't believe this, $5. For details, visit Dodgers.com/special. When I think of what a thrill it was to finally sit in a seat that was worth $1.10 in the grandstand, and to think the kids today can sit in the best seat in the house for $5, wow. Kershaw checks his swing, almost fell down. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. Dickey, who doesn't wander far from the rubber, comes right back with a fastball on the outside corner, and that balances things out. 1 ball and 1 strike. We have 2 out, bottom of the 3rd, no score. Dickey's next one swung on and missed. Throws that knuckleball harder than a lot of people. That knuckleball was at 80. In reading about him, I know Charlie Huff said try and figure out 74, 75 fastball, and Kershaw fights it off, and the count stays 1-2. Of course, the biggest thing is the lack of rotation. If you try to throw a knuckleball and you throw a spinner instead, you're going to get killed out there. 1-2 the count. Dickey ready. Here he comes. Knuckleball chased and missed. And that was a slow knuckleball at 65. So a 1-2-3 inning. He's faced only 9 men in 3 innings, and we have no score. Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, get Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo served with curly fries and a drink for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers, where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. Check it out. No score as we go to the 4th inning on this lovely Sunday afternoon. Clayton Kershaw and R.A. Dickey. Luis Castillo, David Wright, and Carlos Beltran coming up in the 4th. Each side with 1 hit. Kershaw has retired the last 7. The only hit was Wright's double. Dodgers have 1 hit, a single by Kemp, and then Ethier hit into a double play. And a strike. We were talking earlier about the fact that Castillo, very famous for being a contact hitter. He rarely swings and misses. Last year, for instance, he swung and missed only 7% of the time, and we're talking about 785 pitches. 2-1 the count. Castillo from San Pedro de Macorís. Clayton Kershaw had made 43 pitches in the first 3 innings. Fastball rolled to Carroll. One away in the 4th inning.
Number 5.
You realize the Mets did not have a hit after the 6th inning yesterday. So they went 7 hitless innings. They've gone with 1 hit in 3 innings today. So they've had 1 hit in the last 10 1/3 innings. That'll put gray in your whiskers if you're Charlie Manuel. Strike. David Wright swung at a 2-2 pitch. Clayton Kershaw figured he had struck him out and was walking off the field. Dana DeMuth said no, it was fouled into the dirt. Wright then swung at the next pitch and doubled to the gap in left center. 1-1. And Wright drives it to right, but Ethier is there. David was so popular in New York a year or two ago, an airlines named a flight after him, or at least they named the airplane after him. Of course, with a name like Wright, that figures, doesn't it? Carlos Beltran, an outstanding player when he is healthy. I guess like all of them, but he's especially something. For instance, he and Barry Bonds are the only major leaguers to have hit 8 home runs in one postseason. He did it for Houston in 2004. Bonds did it 8 years ago for the Giants. Also, Carlos has 11 career postseason home runs. Ties him with people like Duke Snider and Steve Garvey. Hacking away 0-2. When Beltran would steal a base, the chances were staggering that he would be successful. In his career before the bad knee this year, his rate of success was 88%. Incredible. 0-2. Foul ball. You know, he'd go 23-2, 25-3. Give you an idea. It's one thing to have, for instance, Matt Kemp's speed. Kemp has stolen 15, but Matt's been caught 12 times. Beltran, amazing. 0-2. Rookie of the Year in the American League back in 1999 when he came up with the Royals. Carlos Beltran from Manatee in Puerto Rico. 6'1", 205. He was 33 in April. Switch hitter. Switch swinger sometimes when he's not playing. So for Kershaw, he picks up his 3rd strikeout. He's retired 10 in a row. No score. Despite their other troubles, the Dodger defense has certainly held up, and the defense certainly a Hyundai key to the game. No errors in 8 of the last 12 as Xavier Paul takes a strike. Paul struck out in the first inning. So Kershaw's retired 10 in a row. 1-1. Meanwhile, in the first 3 innings, Dickey has only faced 9 batters. Kemp a base hit, but then Ethier hit into a double play. Xavier Paul struck out to lead off the game. 1-1. Fastball inside. 2-1. You know, when Carlos Beltran was at bat in the 4th inning, before he struck out, he hit a foul ball into the Dodger dugout. 2-1 pitch. 2-2. It apparently struck Carlos Monasterios, and Monasterios left the dugout under his own power, went back to the clubhouse. So we'll wait to see if there's any report. But Monasterios fulfills a vital role right now for the Dodgers. When the Dodgers go to San Diego and open up Tuesday night, here's the look. Line drive right in there. So dark, hard to see, but sitting back in the bench was Monasterios. 2-2. Fouled away. The pitching matchups Tuesday night, Chad Billingsley and John Garland. Wednesday night, Hiroki Kuroda and Clayton Richard. Thursday night, Vicente Padilla and Matt Latos. 2-2. So Tuesday night, KCAL 9. Wednesday night, prime ticket. Thursday night, KCAL 9. A huge series, especially for the Dodgers since they're 6 back. And by that time, we're almost turning July. Dodgers go San Diego, San Francisco. And the Sunday game in San Francisco will be August 1. 2-2 to Paul. Then Jamie Carroll and James Loney. And that's fouled away. Bottom of the 4th, no score. R.A. Dickey, the pride of Tennessee. Two balls, 2 strikes. A little knuckler dribbled. It'll be Tolley. Tough play, but he got him. So Josh Tolley makes a good play on the ball hit by the speedy Xavier Paul. 1 out, and Jamie Carroll coming up. Jamie grounded out to Luis Castillo in the first inning. The Mets swept the Dodgers 3 in New York. Dodgers have won 2 of 3 in this 4-game series. And as we mentioned an hour ago, the Dodgers have not beaten a National League or American League team from the East in a single series this year. Fly ball to right field, right into the glove of Jeff Francoeur. 2 down. So with 2 out in the 4th inning, R.A. Dickey has only faced 11 batters. And here's Loney, who struck out in the first inning. Loney coming up with that walk-off home run, but that really doesn't do him justice as he drives one into right center field, but it's playable, and Beltran is there. Loney missed the consistency, hitting a solid .357 with runners in scoring position. At the end of 4, no score. Dodger Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Corona. We have quite a duel going on here. Not only no score, each side with just one hit. Kershaw has retired 10 in a row, and Dickey has faced only 12 batters in 4 innings. R.A. Dickey has made only 49 pitches in his 4. That'd be under 100 if he went 9. Good fastball. 1-1 the count to Jason Bay. Jason had a trail in British Columbia. He'll be 32 in September. 1-2 the count. Bay hitting .261. He has 6 home runs. I mean, 1 year with the Pirates, he hit 35. And fouls that pitch back. Curveball. 1-2. I was just thinking about Jason Bay. As a little boy in Canada, he certainly got a big slice of humble pie. He hits one to right field. Ethier on the move. 1-1. Jason Bay was on the Little League team from Trail, British Columbia. They lost to Taiwan in the Little League World Series 20-1. Undeterred, he kept going, and he's been in the big leagues since 2004. So 1 away, and the batter is Ike Davis. Davis lifting one into shallow left center. Kemp will take charge of it. 12 in a row retired.
Number 12.
And the batter, Jeff Francoeur, who flied to center. Jeff Francoeur checking in, right-hand batter from Atlanta, Georgia. Strike, 0-1. He was heavily recruited a lot for football rather than baseball. And he goes the other way for a base hit. So a 2-out single to right for Jeff Francoeur will break the string at 12. And the batter will be Josh Tolley. Yeah, Francoeur. Clemson wanted him for football. Georgia wanted him. Florida State wanted him. Notre Dame wanted him. He was considered as good a football safety as they had in the country. Tolle is 0 for 1. He popped up. Nice catch by Casey Blake in the third inning. And ball one. 2 out, top of the fifth. No score. Ball 2. Kershaw 9-5. He has a victory against the Mets. He's 1-0. The victory came last year. Two and 0. Shot up the middle, base hit. Frank Coeur to second, and he will hold on. 2 out, back-to-back singles, bringing up a pitcher, but Dickey looked like a pretty fair hitter in the third inning in his one at bat. Dickey hit the ball sharply, but right at James Loney. So it's not one of those automatic ho-hum, it's the pitcher. So a 2 out, 2 on. Chip Hale down to say something to Dickey. Dickey's hitting .250. He has 2 runs batted in. Ball 1 with a fastball just off the plate. Very light breeze blowing from right to left. Barely a zephyr. Fastball, a comebacker. And that'll be that. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. And at the end of 4.5 innings, no score. Brought to you by Toyota. Get a great deal on Toyota's full line of hybrid and fuel-efficient vehicles at your Toyota dealer today. And by K-Swiss. Well, we have quite a matchup, and our Hyundai key to the game, as usual, it fits the lock. And you match them up and just look at the way they're going. No walks. Dickey with 4 strikeouts. Kershaw with 3. The number of pitches, a big difference for Dickey. A knuckleballer, slider, fastball pitcher who has had excellent control. The only hit that Dickey allowed, Kemp singled. Kershaw's allowed 3 hits, but he's moving along 69 pitches. So here we go, bottom of the 5th inning, Matt Kemp. Strike. Matt singled in the second inning, but was doubled up on the ground ball by Andre Ethier. Matt really perking up for the last 10 games. Check swing. It's going to cost him a strike. Matt saying to the plate umpire Dana DeMuth, check at first, and he looked at first, and Kerwin Danley said, yeah, Matt, strike. So Matt's not quite ready to get back in. There you can see him turning, trying to keep the wrists quiet. I'll tell you one thing, I never know. I really and honestly, truly can tell you, I never know when they're going to call it a swing. I mean, it used to be you had to break your wrist, which means you saw the movement of the hands. Now, somehow or other, there's a magic area. 0-2. Oh, I know what I had to tell you. Talking about magic areas, R.A. Dickey never pitches to the catcher's mitt. I knew I had something else a little different. What Dickey does, he looks into the catcher, and he's looking at an area just about above the mask on the catcher's helmet, right up at the very top. Right where the mask and the helmet meet. Down goes Matt, and I'm sure still unhappy over the call. 1 away. So what Dickey does, he'll stare at that spot. He will then throw the knuckleball, and of course then he's not really sure where the knuckleball is going to go. But the big thing is he does not concentrate on the catcher's mitt. Instead, the mask. Okay, here's Ethier, hit into a double play in the second inning. 0 for 1. No score, fifth inning. 74-mile-an-hour knuckleball, which, with Charlie Huff's thinking, is an ideal knuckleball pitch. 74-75. Then he comes back with another one that he throws a little bit harder, 81. So it's a 7-mile-an-hour difference, but it's the same knuckleball. 0-2. Fastball, and it's hit over third and down the line. Over to get it is Jason Bay. Ethier in there with a double. So when you think about it, it's a bad pitch for a knuckleballer. 0-2, he throws the fastball, and it costs him a double. They always say if you're going to get beaten, you get beat on your best pitch, not your second pitch. So it's a 1-out double. Dodgers finally get a man to second base, and the hitter is Casey Blake. 1 out, fifth inning, no score. Fouled away, and the knuckler. So he made 2 great knuckleballs to Andre Ethier, and then tried to sneak the fastball on the outside corner. Didn't work. In the dirt, goes to the backstop, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. For Dickey, that would be his 4th wild pitch. But it's the old story. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Dickey, in throwing that knuckleball, has paid the price. One and one. Infield has to play up now. Fouled away. You know, Dickey, who had 11 wild pitches when he first came up, he became the 5th major league pitcher to throw 4 wild pitches in an inning. Ryan Madsen for Philadelphia was the last one to do it a couple of years ago. Phil Niekro did it. And down goes Casey on that fastball, down and away. So Niekro had 4. Madsen had 4 wild pitches in an inning. Kevin Gregg from the Marlins when he was with the Angels had 4. And the great Hall of Famer Walter Johnson had 4 wild pitches in 1 inning. So that was a big out to take care of Blake. Now the batter is Blake DeWitt. Infield back. Nice save by Tolley. Boy, that's a big responsibility for the young catcher to handle the knuckleball anyway, and especially with a runner at third. Tolley, 23. Little roller. The play is going to be to the pitcher covering in time. So the Dodgers get a double, but they leave Ether at third, and at the end at 5, it's still no score. Shutout, his 4th of the year to tie Oral Hershiser. Nice to salute Tim, because in 1988 he might have been an unsung hero. When you think of 88 in the World Championship, you think of Oral Hershiser, and rightly so. But Belcher won 12 games that year. He also beat the New York Mets twice in the National League Championship Series, and for good measure beat Oakland in the 1988 World Series. Tim Belcher, quite a pitcher. Let's go back to this one. Well, we have quite a game working here today. No score, 6th inning. And Clayton Kershaw working on Jose Reyes. Reyes has grounded out and lined out to Xavier Paul in left field. That's right. So Reyes in a hole now. 0-2. Kershaw coming into the inning had made 69 pitches. 1-2. R.A. Dickey, through his 5, has made 62 pitches. No runs, 3 hits for the Mets. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Fastball, 2-2. You know, if you count today and you count the first 5 innings, the Dodgers starters have allowed 1 earned run in their last 34 innings. That translates to an earned run average of 0.26. There they are. Billingsley, Kuroda, Padilla, Monasterios, and Kershaw. And then starting Tuesday, it'll be Billingsley, Kuroda, and Padilla against the Padres. There's a 1-hopper by the diving DeWitt. So now Kershaw will have someone to really get his attention. A leadoff single by Reyes, who is a premier base stealer although the Dodgers have pretty well kept him in check. In the first game, he was out trying to steal. In the second game, he had a stolen base. So they'll be watching him with Castillo right and Beltran, and you have to believe Castillo might very well be bunting. Ball one. Castillo, no power hitter. He has 7 sacrifices, and he's a contact hitter, so the Dodgers certainly look bunt. No score, 6th inning. Kershaw gave up a 2-out double in the first inning. He gave up back-to-back singles with 2 out in the 5th, and now he lets the leadoff man get aboard with a base hit. And they got Reyes picked off. Loney down to Carroll for the tag. The Jerry Manuel, I'm sure, has a permanent green light for Jose Reyes. And the Dodgers hang him out to dry. So a big out. And now Castillo on a 1-ball, no strike count. Ball 2. For Jose Reyes, that is the 4th time that he's been thrown out trying to steal. And 2 of those 4 right here. That's right. Yeah, that's right. When you're picked off, that's Judge caught stealing. 2-2. In the dirt. New ball put in play, old ball thrown out. 3-2 the count. Kershaw has struck out 3. He has not walked anybody, and he's allowed the 3 hits. Hit down the right field line, fair ball, and the Mets are saying to themselves, wouldn't you know, we get our speedster to lead off with a single. He's thrown out stealing, and the next hitter doubles. So we have 1 out, a runner at second base. And David Wright coming up. David Wright doubled to left center and flied to right. So Jose Reyes has to be muttering to himself. Of course, you never know. If Reyes had stayed at first, they might have had Castillo bunting, but either way, Jerry Manuel winds up giving up a precious out. He has a runner at second, but he does have the 2 big men coming up, Wright and Beltran. High fly ball starting to slice foul. Ethier coming over, makes the catch, and a good strong throw cut off by Jamie Carroll keeps Castillo at second base. Fine play by Andre Ethier. Looked like the ball certainly had a chance of going foul. As so often happens, the ball looks like it might go into the first row of seats, and then it drifts back. And Ethier, well accustomed to that, was not about to quit on it, and sure enough had a play. Now, had this been the regular Carlos Beltran, you would say Kershaw is in a lot of trouble. Well, he's in trouble now, but not as much as he would be with a healthy Beltran. 0-1. Beltran has been playing with a brace on the right knee. He had serious knee surgery. He's not nearly the Beltran that he normally would be, and he's only played 9 games. He has 1 run batted in. Castillo at second, 2 out. That's a strike. 0-2. So Kershaw facing Beltran. Oh, and 2. Line drive, and what a play by Casey Blake. How in the world did big leaguers react so quickly on a blur? Wow. And what a time to do it. So no runs, 2 hits, a man left at second, and still no score. Has never retired the side in order. He did on this pitch. He thought, but it was fouled into the dirt. So walking off, he was told to go back. And sure enough, David Wright hit that extra pitch for a double. And so 21 consecutive starts. And Clayton Kershaw has been unable to retire the side in order in the first inning. Tell you one thing he's been doing today. In 6 innings, he's had only 2 3-ball counts. So we're scoreless in the 6th. Martin, Kershaw, and Paul. Martin grounded out to Ike Davis in the 3rd inning. And don't forget that little note that we gave you at the start of the game about R.A. Dickey and his earned run average. In the first 6 innings of his starts, his earned run average is 2.4. As he slips in his follow through, and they're going to make sure he's okay. Then the last 3 innings of his games, his earned run average is over 5. So they want to make sure he's okay. And he's not responding immediately. Time now. Oh, what a tough break that would be if this young fella out of Tennessee been pitching brilliantly, and if he hurt himself and he can't continue. Big kick, left foot hits the mound, and he crumbles and goes down, and really spreading those legs, so you immediately think of the groin area. Tell you, it's no walk in the park to stand on a 10-inch mound and try to throw a baseball to a strike zone. Immediately the bullpen starts to move around a little bit. They're not ready. If I had to guess, it would be the left groin, just the way he moved on that side. Either way, I'd only miss by 1. Well, they're going to let him make a practice throw. Mets have already lost one starting pitcher, John Maine, who went out with shoulder surgery. I'm sure Dickey doesn't want to come out, especially as well he's been pitching. I guess he's convinced everybody he's okay. And you certainly hope so. One ball and one strike. And immediately I have the thought, if you were hitting up there, wouldn't you try to bunt the knuckleball? If indeed the pitcher has hurt himself, I mean, it is a business. 2-1. That was that 74-mile-an-hour knuckleball. He throws it up to 81. That's a strike. That one was 73. Martin hitting .244. Fouled away. Well, Dickey would appear to be okay. He certainly has had his share of problems. Bouncer back to him. One away. And the batter will be Clayton Kershaw.
Number 22, pitcher Clayton Kershaw.
Back in 1997, Dickey was shut down with a bad elbow, and that brought in the missing ulnar ligament. He also had a strained right arm in 2004. He hurt his upper back a second time. He had inflammation of the triceps. He had tendonitis in his right shoulder. It all goes with pitching. Little nubber. 2 down. You know, you can take advantage of a winning combination on your way to the stadium. Go Metro to Union Station, connect with the Dodger Stadium Express, and your ticket to the game grants you a free ride starting 90 minutes before every game. For information, visit Dodgers.com/express. Well, I don't know. After that pitch and having to come down off the mound and make the play, I think Jerry Manuel's decided, I'm afraid he's going to hurt himself. So Jerry is back out there. He wants to be assured that Dickey is okay and he's not just playing on heart. And Jerry is saying, now don't lie to me. Are you sure? And the young pitcher is saying, honest, I wouldn't lie to you. I'm telling you the truth. I swear. I'm okay. I really am. Manuel saying, I don't want you in there if you're going to be hurt. Let me in, coach. So that's a big debate going on. Manuel thinking of the pitcher and the pitcher thinking of the game. Come on, Jerry, leave me in here. Please. Jerry said, wait a minute, I'll get an expert opinion. I'll call the trainer out here. What do you think? Trainer said, you know, that's a tough area. And look at Dickey, the major in English at the University of Tennessee, saying, look, I'm all right. I made the play. I'm pitching. I can get this guy. Xavier Paul, leave me in. And he apparently is not only a fine pitcher. Well, now, wait a minute. Look at the umpire. The umpire calling in the pitcher. Dickey is doing everything in his power to stay in this game, and it looks like he has lost the argument. And it really looked like an argument. Well, that is really too bad. I mean, he pitched a whale of a game. But they're looking at him and they're saying, look, R.A., Robert Allen, you're a heck of a young pitcher. This is one game, and we just don't want to lose you for the rest of the year. And Jerry Manuel didn't get the gray beard from just sitting back watching games. A very tough blow. So the pitcher coming in is replacing technically an injured pitcher. That's Raul Valdez. And he can warm up until he thinks he's ready. So we can use the time, and we'll be back. To stay in the game, and I don't blame him. Here's what happened. He took that stride, slip, spread, and I'm sure suffered a groin strain to some degree, but he wanted to finish the inning at least, and he can't blame him. If he gets the third out in the sixth inning and then the Mets score in the seventh, he has a chance to win a game. And you know what? As a knuckleballer, admittedly, he only went 5 2/3. But that's as fine a pitching performance as I've seen by a knuckleballer, and the numbers certainly would back him up. For instance, a knuckleball pitcher who did not have even one 3-ball count. A knuckleball pitcher who had 14 out of 18 first pitch strikes. And a knuckleball pitcher who induced 9 ground ball outs. So small consolation to R.A. Dickey, but he pitched a tremendous 5 2/3, and then fate suddenly played a trick on him. So here is Raul Valdez. He's from Havana, Cuba. 5'11", 190. He was signed by the Cubs 6 years ago out of Cuba. Never made it, and surfaced with the Mets this year. He had visa problems coming out of the Dominican a few years ago. Fastball, curveball, and a changeup. Raul Valdez. Fastball strike. But what a game by R.A. Dickey. A single and a double is all he allowed. No runs. Fouled away. 1 2. When the Mets come up in the seventh inning, they have Jason Bay, Ike Davis, and Jeff Francoeur. They have 1 inch amongst them. 1 2 to Xavier. Struck out, grounded out, hitting .257. 2 2. Valdez in his 26th game. He's 2 2. 17 walks, 44 strikeouts. Not quite 3 1, but better than 2 1. And a fly ball to right field. Francoeur. All right. That closes the book on the 6th inning. It also closes the book on R.A. Dickey. And we're heading for the 7th. No score. Ike Davis and Jeff Francoeur. So what had been a magnificent duel between Kershaw and Dickey, it is now Kershaw and the reliever Valdez. Bay is 0 for 2, struck out, fly to right, hits a fly ball to left field. It's playable. Xavier Paul. One pitch, one away. Time for a little trivia question on this Sunday afternoon. Who led the Dodgers in home runs and RBIs in their 1988 LCS win over the Mets? I will give you the answer in a while. We were talking about Tim Belcher's contributions to that '88 club and in the World Series. He beat the Mets twice. Ball one to Ike Davis, who has hit 2 fly balls to center. So the Mets, with 5 hits but nothing to show for it, can't come much closer than they did in the 6th inning. Reyes singles and is picked off, and then Castillo promptly doubles to right. Mets have had 3 men get to second base. That's going to be lined down the line. They're going to have a 4th man get to second base, and Ike Davis will hold up with the double. So he goes 1 for 3. I'll say one thing about Ike Davis that should be duly noted. See him drop the hands? Well, he just pulled a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and that was one of the thoughts we had. Dropping his hands the way he does, could he catch up to a big league fastball? And obviously he can. So now Jeff Francoeur with Tolle and Dickey's spot to follow, and they're going to walk Francoeur intentionally. Take their chances with the young catcher Tolle. There'll probably be a hitter for Valdez. We'll have to wait and see about that. So for Kershaw, who has been equally brilliant, this will be his first walk. He's had only 2 3-ball counts in 6 innings. And now, of course, he goes for 4, but he's only made 93 pitches.
Number 30, catcher.
And now here's the catcher, Josh Tolle. Tolle popped up to Blake and singled to center. No score, 7th inning. Angel Pagan comes out on deck now. He will bat for Valdez. Ground ball to the right side. The feed for 1. For 2. So the Dodgers come up with a big double play in the 7th inning. At the end of 6½. No score, and the crowd now will be asked to join in God Bless America and Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
And join in the singing of God Bless America. Once again, please welcome Anson Williams.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anson Williams. Now, fans, it's time for the California Lottery 7th inning stretch. Be sure to play Mega Millions from the
Bottom of the 7th inning, no score in the ball game for the Mets. They have had 4 men get to second base. No one came home. The Dodgers have gotten 1 man to third base, and he failed to score. That was Ethier. So here in the 7th, it's Carroll, Loney, and Kemp. The Mets, by the way, are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. So the left-hander Valdez in relief of the hard luck Dickey, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Carroll has grounded to second, fly to right. Valdez trying to hold the fort. He was so close to coming out for a pinch hitter, but totally hit into that double play. Two and one. Curveball misses. After looking at knuckleball, some sliders and fastballs, Dodgers now would be looking at a traditional fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher. 2-2. Raul Valdez out of Cuba. Fastball pulled down the line, foul. So Jamie jumped on that thing, pulled it too much. You know, in this kind of a ball game, on the heels of yesterday, the bullpens become very important. Off-speed pitch, and that will cost an out. So 1 away. James Loney coming up yesterday in the 13th inning. Hit his 7th home run of the year against Oliver Perez into the right center field bleachers, and the Dodgers won the game 3-2. And continuing the thought about yesterday, as you know, both teams burned up the bullpen. Joe Torre said Hung-Chi Kuo will not be available today. He said Jeff Weaver will not be available today. And he said, as far as Broxton is concerned, we'll have to wait and see. Well, the Dodgers don't have to wait and see. They know San Diego won. The Padres beat the Pirates 6-3. A shot to Ike Davis, and that'll do it for Loney. Do you remember, if you were with us, Carlos Beltran hit a foul ball in the 4th inning? A line drive foul into the Dodger bullpen. Into the Dodger dugout. And it's very dark down in there. We knew it hit somebody, but the extent of what and whom we weren't sure, right down in there. Turns out that it hit Carlos Monasterios on the right side of the head. We understand Carlos did not lose consciousness, does not have a concussion. But boy, that's close. Now, with 2 out and Matt Kemp coming up, Angel Pagan, who figured to be a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. So they're going to move people around a little bit. Manny Acosta is coming in, and we'll be back. No score, bottom of the 7th inning, and Jerry Manuel makes a double switch. Angel Pagan, who would have been a pinch hitter, comes into the game to play right field and will bat 9th. And Manny Acosta will come in to pitch. Acosta will go into Frank Coor's spot. So Pagan will be batting 9th, and he will lead off in the 8th inning. And ball 1 to Matt Kemp, who is 1 for 2 against Dickey. Against Acosta in the past, Kemp 0 for 2. Manny's from Panama. One and one on the foul ball. Manny Acosta, 6'4", 175, out of Colón in Panama. Originally signed by the Braves, and he was claimed off waivers from the Braves the end of March. Right-hand batters gave him a bad time. He's in the dirt. Last year, right-handers hit .302 against him. Of course, he didn't have much luck against lefties either. They hit .297. Acosta 1-1 in his 14th game. 8 walks, 15 strikeouts. 2 down, 7th inning, no score. Ground ball, foul. Boy, you have to feel sorry for Robert Allen Dickey, better known as R.A. He pitched such a great game and then hurt himself on a pitch where he appeared to just spread his legs when he slipped. So the first thought you have is he hurt the groin area. But then he fielded the ball hit by Kershaw. You could see he limped noticeably. And then he did everything. He begged. He argued. He cajoled. He did everything. And Manuel couldn't sell him to come out, so they finally brought the trainer out. And only then did R.A. decide, all right, I'll come out. But he didn't want to. And no doubt they gave him the, first of all, hey, for the good of the club. And secondly, for your own good. You hurt that thing seriously and you're out for a month or whatever. But he put on a tremendous performance, and he had to match pitches with Clayton Kershaw, who's been brilliant. Hard ground ball, smothered by David Wright, and got him. So Casey Blake made a huge play. Wright makes a good play with the bases empty. Davis saved a run, and at the end of 7, it is a brilliant Major League ball game on a gorgeous day. No score. We go to the 8th inning. Remember the trivia question? It had to do about who led the Dodgers in home runs and RBIs in the '88 LCS against the Mets. And you're right on the money if you think about Kirk Gibson. 2 home runs and a half a dozen RBIs. Dodgers won in 7 tough ones. And maybe the most miraculous thing about that playoff, home run by Mike Scioscia against Doc Gooden. All right, 8th inning, Angel Pagan. Pagan was on deck, and then the double play prevented him, and now it's a towering fly ball down the left field line. Ball comes in the corner, reaches up, and let's see what happened. He came out of our view completely. Couldn't catch it. That's an area where we can't see. Now we can. Looks like he had it in and out of the glove. So it was close to a home run. It was close to being caught, and it winds up a foul ball. Little high. 1-1 to Angel. He's from Puerto Rico. 4th round pick out of high school. Loved fighting. He was a boxer. In fact, his buddy was Felix Trinidad. They kind of grew up together. And one thing he said, the boxing really helped him as far as being in unbelievable shape. Popped in the air. Martin coming back. Loney coming down. Martin. So Pagan fouls out, 1 away in the 8th inning. No runs, 6 hits for the Mets. They're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Wright was at second in the 1st inning. Francoeur was at second in the 5th inning. Castillo was at second in the 6th inning, and Davis at second in the 7th. And the Mets have been spinning their wheels, and now here's Reyes. The most frustrating moments for the Mets came in the 6th inning. Reyes singled and was promptly picked off, and then Castillo doubled. He would have scored on the double. 1-1. The Mets this year have been shut out 8 times. The Dodgers this year have been shut out 10 times. Foul ball. To break it down a little bit, the Mets have been shut out 6 times on the road. The Dodgers have been shut out 4 times at home. 1-2 to Reyes, hitting .279. Popped it up, foul ground. Loney, Martin, very doubtful this time, and back in the stands. One and 2 the count. Eighth inning, no score. Line foul. You know, this is the 20th anniversary of the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And here at Dodger Stadium this morning, a group of wheelchair users celebrated the anniversary. They did that in the parking lot this morning. And of course, it was a constant reminder of Dodger great Roy Campanella. 2-2. So we certainly salute the act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and we certainly salute those involved. Popped up. Loney using the mitt for shade. Two down in the 8th inning, and Luis Castillo coming up. So Kershaw now has gotten up to 105 pitches. He's getting close to his tops. He made 117 early May against Colorado. He made 104 last time out against the Giants. And for good measure, he is due to bat fifth when the Dodgers bat in the 8th inning. One ball and one strike. Fastball. The paid attendance tonight, or actually today, 39,897. 39,897. Curveball hit to the hole, smothered, but no play. So a 2-out single by Castillo. He's 2 for 4. And once again, the Mets look to David Wright. Up to now in this series, he's been David wrong. However, a solid ball player, 1 for 3. Came up with Castillo at second and 1 out in the 6th, and hit a fly ball to Ethier right down the line. And then the big play, Beltran crushed one, and Casey Blake made a brilliant diving stab at the line drive, and the Mets failed to score. That's a strike. David Wright, I'm sure, carrying a lot of pressure. 1 for 3. He is 3 for his last 25 at-bats. For the last 2 weeks, he would be 11 for 50. Fastball hit to right field. Ethier is there again. David Wright slings his helmet away in frustration. Twice he has gone out to right field. Castillo is left, and at the end of 7.5, no score. To a rose garden, and certainly for anybody in sports, they can understand that. R.A. Dickey was pitching super until he spread those legs when he slipped. Then when he made the throw to first, he limped as well. He then tried to sell his case. Gary Manuel wanted to take him out, and R.A. Dickey majored in English, but he was like a a Pennsylvania lawyer out there trying to win the case, but he lost it only after Manuel had a technical witness. That would be the trainer come out. So RA had to come out. Then it was Valdez, Acosta, and now Feliciano. And Pedro Feliciano, a strike to Andre Ethier. Kershaw, by the way, now has made 112 pitches. Not a ball thrown in the Dodger bullpen. Ethier, Blake, and DeWitt facing Feliciano. 0-1. Little foul ball. So Ethier looking out at the left-hander. Feliciano originally was signed as a free agent by the Dodgers. He's from Puerto Rico. He'll be 34 later in August. Actually, the Mets have two Felicianos. They have Jesus and Pedro. Foul ball off the protective railing. That makes us think immediately about that line drive that hit Monasterio. We have not gotten any other report except that it was not a concussion. He did not lose consciousness, but he was hit in the head on the foul ball by Angel Pagan. Oh, no, it was Carlos Beltran. 0-2. Still 0-2, and Andre got a little bit of that. Takes the mandatory 8 count. Feliciano has been a workhorse. In 08, 86 games. Last year, in 88 games. And Pedro this year is now in his 56th game. And Andre Ethier is well aware of his presence. The crowd now trying to shake something loose here. No score, bottom of the 8th. Oh, 0-2. Feliciano came up to the Mets in 03. In 2005, he left the major leagues and went to Japan and pitched in Fukuoka. Breaking ball got him. So Ethier had hit into a double play. He had doubled and now strikes out. Casey Blake has struck out twice against Dickey, but for Casey Blake, it's the glove that has made the big difference in the game. With 2 out and Castillo at second base, Carlos Beltran drilled one to Blake's left, his gloved side, and he dived and caught the line drive just before it went into left field. So that saved the run and was still scoreless, bottom of the 8th. 1-1. Way out in front of that. Pedro, among other things, says the secret of his longevity is his routine. Before every game, he soaks in a hot tub. Then he plays catch. Then he runs a little to break a sweat. Then he's down in the bullpen, stretches, loosens up, and he's ready. And after the game, certainly at home, he's in the weight room, isolating his rotator cuff, his abdominal muscles, his lower back, and his legs. He's 5'10", 195, and he'd be 34. But boy, what a workhorse since 2007. Just missed. 2-2. Drafted by the Dodgers, signed as a free agent with the Reds, selected off waivers by the Tigers after he had gone to the Mets. Then the Tigers released him. He signed with the Mets. Then they sold his contract to the Fukuoka Daiei Hawks. Then the Mets signed him again. So here he is. Sinking fastball, change, kind of a slurvy curve, and he's been working on a cutter. And a line drive base hit to left field. So a one-out single, and Blake DeWitt will not be coming up. Rafael Furcal will bat for DeWitt with Casey Blake at first, and a left-hander on the mound. Rafael Furcal in an unusual role for him. He's normally out there every day. He's only had 3 appearances as a pinch hitter, and he's 0 for 3. So Rafael hitting .327, 7 home runs, 37 runs batted in. He was 1 for 4 yesterday with a couple of walks. Right, 0-1. Kenley Jansen gets up now in the Dodger bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike the count for call. Rafael is hitting .338 against right-handers when he bats left-handed, of course. .297 against left-handers from this side of the plate. Little foul, 1-2. Feliciano about 2-1 strikeouts to walks. 1-2. Fouled away again. For the moment, looking ahead to the New York Mets in the 9th inning, they'll have Carlos Beltran, Jason Bay, and Ike Davis. And if anybody gets on, they'll get to Feliciano's spot. 1-2. Casey Blake over at first base does not do any base stealing. At least he has not been successful. He is 0-4 trying to steal. 2-2 to Rafael. And a fly ball down the right field line. Coming over, reaching in, and making the catch is Angel Pagan. He is really an angel in the outfield. He made 2 wonderful plays the other night. Charging towards the infield, sliding on his back. Then he went across the foul line, sliding into that wall. This time he goes to the wall and stays on his feet to make the catch. Wonderful defensive plays by Angel Pagan in right field. So that's a big out, 2 down, and Russell Martin coming up. Danny Warthen, who of course was with the Dodgers, he's now the pitching coach for the New York Mets. Their bench coach, Dave Joust, also with the Dodgers. So there's a definite LA touch. Danny, a delightful guy. 2 out, 8th inning, no score. Russell Martin has grounded out, hit back to the box. Clayton Kershaw is on deck. Curveball, and that's hit into the gap in left center. It is going to go to the wall. Casey Blake is being waved around. He is on his way to score, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. Russell Martin hits one into the gap to the wall, despite the relay from Jason Bay to Jesus Reyes. Here comes Casey, and he is in there. And the Dodgers break the scoreless deadlock, and Ronnie Belliard will now bat for Clayton Kershaw. So Russell Martin doubles in the run, and here's Belliard. They will walk Belliard with a left-hander on the mound, take their chances with Xavier Paul. So 2 out, 1-0 Dodgers, 8th inning. For Russell Martin, that long double, his 12th and his 23rd run batted in. And here comes Xavier Paul.
Number 30, left-hander, Xavier Paul.
In his limited time in the big leagues, Xavier Paul hitting .278 against left-hand pitching. So Kershaw comes out, leading 1-0. Jansen, who made an appearance yesterday throwing in the bullpen. Paul has struck out, grounded out, flied out, 0 for 3. Ball 1. Paul with 3 hits the other night, and now Tolley going out to talk to Feliciano. So in the inning, Ethier struck out. Blake single to left. Percall fouled out to Pagan. Martin doubles in the gap to score Blake. They walk Belliard intentionally. And Xavier Paul up there, 1 ball and no strikes. And Kenley Jansen, who made his big league debut yesterday, is apparently getting ready to try and close it out in the 9th. Fouled away. 1-1. Clayton Kershaw made 112 pitches. He had 14 fly ball outs. Interesting, he was not striking out a lot of people. There were only 6 swings and misses. Wound up striking out 3. In on the hands, 1 and 2. Jamie Carroll waiting on deck. Two and 2. To repeat, when the Mets come up in the 9th inning, Carlos Beltran 0 for 3. Jason Bay 0 for 3. Ike Davis 1 for 3. Deuce is wild here. So ball 3, so the Dodgers get an offensive edge. A full count, 2 down. Martin goes from second, and Belliard on the move from first. Remember, San Diego won. The Dodgers must win to remain 6 back before the big series upcoming starting Tuesday night. Three and 2. Runners go. Ground ball up the middle to Reyes. Boy, was that close. I mean, That Xavier Paul can fly, and Reyes was extremely cautious on the ground ball. He played it somewhat defensively, and that made it such a close play at first. Well, when it's all said and done, the Dodgers get one. 9th inning, 1-0 Dodgers. Big boy came in yesterday and was rather remarkable when you consider his background. There's a strikeout. David Wright bites the dust for 2, and the third was a ground ball. Now, the thing that's amazing about Kenley Jansen, he's a big fella, about 6'5" and maybe 240, but he was a catcher. The Dodgers moved him from behind the plate last year because he wasn't hitting enough. So he didn't become a pitcher until July of last year. And here he is yesterday pitching in a major league game and coming right back now and asked to close it. Throws very hard. The question is, big kid, throws hard, but can he throw strikes? Well, we're going to find out under pressure. One of the things the fellas in the bullpen told him, I understand, they said, when you go in, don't look at the crowd. Just concentrate on your catcher. And here's Carlos Beltran turning around to hit left-handed, and the first pitch, a strike. Beltran is hitting 185 left-handed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlos 0 for 3, had a line drive and base hit taken away by Casey Blake. Kenley Jansen is from Curaçao. He's the Curaçao kid out of the Netherlands Antilles. He's 22 years old. He'll be 23 the very end of September. Ball 3. He does have, they say, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. 3-1 to Beltran. And popped up. Carroll and Furcal. Furcal will take it. One out in the 9th, and Jason Bay, the batter. Jerry Manuel has already played Angel Pagan. He has one left-hand hitter in the dugout. That would be Chris Carter. And that's a strike. Bay has struck out, flied to right, flied to left, 0 for 3. Well, that was the slider for sure. 0-2 the count. You know, when R.A. Dickey pitched his brilliant 5 2/3, we talked about the fact that the knuckleballer got some lessons from Charlie Huff. Charlie Huff had a lot to do with the pitching development of Kenley Jansen. Well, it was such a good movie, they made a remake of it. The title of the movie was A Star Is Born. And you wonder now about young Kenley Jansen and this rather remarkable story of a young fella who started pitching last July, and here he is in the big leagues. The aforementioned Chris Carter is now out on deck. And here's Ike Davis. Strike. 1 run on 4 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 7 hits for the Mets, who have had ample opportunities to score. Meanwhile, Kershaw so close to his 10th win. 1-1 the count. Clayton went 8. Ball 2. The ability to throw a baseball 95 miles an hour. Can't learn it. Can't be taught. God-given. 2-1. Now this crowd of 39,000, everybody up. Dodgers need this game to remain 6 back of the Padres, who won earlier today. 2-2 to Davis, twice fly to center and double to right. Ball 3. One thing we learned about Davis, remember, he's the one who drops his hands before he starts the swing, and we wondered about him handling a major league fastball. When he doubled, it was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Kershaw. Not this time. So Kenley Jansen has faced 6 batters in the major leagues, and he has struck out 4 of them. He comes up with his first save. An unbelievable story. The progress of a man who came from nowhere, from behind the plate, going to the mound in last July, and now all of a sudden figures prominently in the Dodger pitching plans, believe it or not. 1-4-0 for the Dodgers, 0-7-0 for the Mets. Russell Martin had the key base hits. After Blake had singled with 2 out, Russell promptly doubled into the gap in left center against Pedro Feliciano. Blake, running with 2 out, was able to score, and then Kenley Jansen made it stand up, and the Dodgers hang on to win. Not only win the game 1-0, they win 3 out of 4 from the Mets, which means they finally win a series against an Eastern Division team, whether it's National or American. So on that rather satisfying note, the Dodgers close up and now begin a huge series, bigger for the Dodgers than it really is for San Diego, starting Tuesday night, when the Dodgers try to cut into the San Diego lead. Padres won today and still lead by 6. Well, a reminder, stay tuned for Dodgers Live. It's coming up next. Good afternoon, everybody.